What's up, bro?
Man, you know, we in here just like
Beginning
always.
of the year.
You always catch me at a good time.
I know.
Guess who called me? Is free. He has a radar about you.
Okay.
Les called me on the way here. I said, "You must know I'm going somewhere." That's what I was talking to when I was walking up the steps.
Yeah.
So shout out to Les. We got to get that out the way.
Yeah. Shout out, bro. We just need to get him to come visit, and he can be on.
I told him. He said, "Man, one day he might pop up on you." So we had to make a special one.
Let's do it.
And it put a face to the name because I'm sure people are like, who the hell is this dude?
Yeah.
So other than that, man, it's been kind of wild. I know you got into some stuff yesterday. Yeah. My experience was nothing like your experience. I took down Christmas decorations.
So yeah, I ran a half marathon yesterday, but it's funny because some friend of ours, they're runners and we're not. You know, we're pretty much glorified CrossFitters, I guess now. And they said, we're going to do a half marathon. A guy down here has been training for one, or he trained for marathon, run it, but he's like, I'll run a half marathon. Well, a friend of ours was like, screw it, let's do it. Well, my wife signed us up. Well, really hadn't even thought about it anymore. And then we all were celebrating New Year's Eve over there, hanging out, shooting fireworks, having a couple drinks. And we're like, hey, are we doing that half marathon in the morning? They're like, yeah, we're doing it. Well, they've been training for it. I looked at my wife, I was like, we got to do it. So, I was on the fence about doing it still. I was like, well, look, if we wake up in the morning, you don't want to do it, that's fine. I don't care. But we did sign up for it. We did say we were going to do it. So we got out of bed late. It was a late start. The race didn't start till 9, which is kind of nice. Whoa. I guess because it's a New Year's thing, you know. Sure. But so we got we didn't get out of bed till like 8:15. And then she got up and started getting dressed. And I could tell she was getting dressed. I was like, I guess we're doing it. She's like, yeah. I was like, shit. So we got up. We made it there by 8:55. So, dude, I didn't have time to take it. I didn't shit. I didn't stretch.
You are absolutely
and
crazy.
Brand new shoes. Never wore these running shoes.
Yeah, hydration, not good.
Nope.
Well, that's testament to your training. You guys made it.
I ran it. She was fine. She stayed ahead with them. She got first in her age division. I got second in my age division, but there was probably only 70, 80 runners maybe. Dude, well, it wasn't that big. I ran one half marathon ever, and it was on a bet. And I was hurt for about 4 weeks. I ain't doing it ever again. When was this?
Early 2000s.
Were you like full on weight training then and all that? Like, were you bulky?
Oh yeah, nah, not like now, but closer than
you weren't running.
No, God,
right,
no,
right.
I don't run. I'm a sprinter, man. I don't run like that.
So I mean, the most I typically run is maybe a couple miles a week, all
total
put together. You'll like this. We just signed up for High Rocks. Have you seen that?
Yeah. So I know all about that stuff.
You should come do it. I'm signed up March 25th.
Do you know me?
I did a single. So my wife and Billy teamed up because they're faster than me and my wife do it together. I got to go home with her.
Sure.
So she teamed up with him. They're going to do it together. But yeah. I signed up for the single, bro. It's going to be horrible.
Let me look at it. Okay, so I know about it.
Can you pull up that High Rocks, Josh? It's a High Rocks competition in Houston. Can you just pull up the workout? The workout's like, you do like 100 meters weighted lunges. Okay. Then you run 800. You run 800. Mm-hmm. Then you come back and you do like 100 meters farmer carry. Then you run 800.
Okay.
You run, so progressively you run like 4.97 miles. Mm-hmm. And you got to try to complete this whole workout within an hour.
Okay.
To even place. And then you're doing all these other reps. The worst things, like the very end of it's like 100 wall balls.
So I would say,
can we pull up the single workout race format right there? There's the competition. What are those? We run through those. It's number 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1,000 meter ski erg, then 800. Sled push. How far is sled push? The sled push is only like 200 pounds, 50 meters. That ain't shit for us.
No.
Then you have a sled pull, 50 meters. That ain't shit. Burpee broad jumps. That's gonna suck. Rowing, that sucks because you have to do 1,000
meter.
Then you have a farmer's carry, sandbag lunges. That's kind of sucks, but it's not horrible. And then wall balls.
I'd say the last two will hurt you the worst.
You would kill this. And here's the thing: the weight's very light.
So now, backstory is I can't do it. I have an MRI or I have an orthopedist appointment on Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
we'll see if you can do it after that.
I'm always, you know how I am. Like you get you kill everything and then you get hurt.
Yeah.
And then you kill everything and you get hurt. So like I got a high hamstring strain. I've had it since I talked to you. I didn't say nothing, but yeah, I've had that and it hasn't went away. So now I'm not being stupid. So I'm going to say, all right, I went and got my ultrasound. They didn't see anything. It's like, oh, it's probably tendonitis. I don't trust that. So I have to go to orthopedist in Minden, of all places. And then I have to get referred for an MRI. Now, the training doesn't stop. And so you just got to be careful what you do. So none of that stuff worries me. I just know if I get into it, I'm going to finish
you it. You got to make sure you're not injured going into it.
I don't want a hamstring surgery is what I don't
hell
want.
No, dude, no. But I saw that and I was like, I would mention this to Nate because that's like right up his alley.
It'd be a good goal.
I think it's going to be horrible on me because there's going to be a lot of fast people.
Yeah.
So these CrossFitters are showed up and doing it good because but the weight ain't shit. Like it's so lightweight, but it's just you're burning constantly. You're huffing for breath the entire time.
I'd say if you're 165 pounds, you're just fine.
Yeah, you're killing it.
So
I'm 220 like me.
See, man,
5'10".
I'm getting close to you, which is scary. I weighed myself the other day. I was 214.
How tall are you?
5'9".
Yeah.
So I'm the highest, sitting the highest that I've been in a long time. I think the biggest I ever got was 230. But at this body fat, I have not been this high ever.
What's your current, so we're going into this New Year's thing. We always talk about this every year, but it's funny, like what's your current diet and strategy right now as you sit? Potentially you're going probably what, 30-40% of what you normally would at full health? I mean, I'd say full capacity since you may potentially have an injury.
Movement wise, 30-40%. Okay. Like I can't do athletic type stuff. It just doesn't do well for me. But weight wise, I'm probably
still moving some weight.
That's why I sent it to you today. I said, let's see what's in the tank because I don't ever do it.
How much was that?
475.
I was 400 something.
So
and that's
for 10.
And you're
So what I try to do is, so the 1 minute thing, I've been doing that since the last time I talked to you, and I have not touched no kind of max rep stuff because I don't want to get hurt. So today I said, all right, I'll try for a rep max. What is my rep max for today? And I put on something where like 5 is pretty hard usually. So it was five 45s on each side plus the weight of the arms. So it's about 475. And that you don't have your feet tethered. So it's just like you pull it or you don't. You can't sit down. I mean, you stand up and you pull chest supported row. So I said, all right, I'm going to try. And that I always superset between like push and pull. Keeps my ego in check.
Yeah.
And at today, said, all right, let's see what's happening. Can't really bust yourself. Sure enough. I mean, way more. So I was struggling at 6 weeks ago. And I hit that for a 10. That was the 5th or 6th set, getting warmed up to it. Yeah. And then after that, 3 sets of a minute of 4 plates and then the chest presses in between. You get 2 or 3 pairings. That was a horizontal, the push-pull, and then you got the vertical push-pull. And then I ended that stuff with some abdominal type stuff. But none of that stuff is real athletic, which kind of sucks for me. I really like moving. But I can still jump rope. I can still box. But like me pushing a sled or me like grappling or anything, that's not happening.
Yeah, no, I get that, dude.
So it's sad.
I mean, dude, it is what it is. How old are you now?
40. I'll be 42 in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is. But 42 with constant, strenuous physical activity every single day of your life. Not 42 like I just got in shape at 30. You know what I mean? It's different.
I am supposed to get back on the mats though. So the little man, his birthday is tomorrow. Okay. So the little man has said, "Hey, will you do jiu-jitsu again?" I said, "But I can't go back and compete again. I can't do that. I don't want to get hurt." He goes, "Yeah, but I just want to see you out there." So I can't say no to that. So I will be making a return. Just I won't be on any kind of world stage.
Yeah.
So I'll be on the mats.
Well, you've already done that.
Yeah. I'm just going now. I'll go out there. I'll choke some necks and then be able to train 2 days a week. That's the goal right now. Is just to be able to get on the mats 2 days a week, and then keep the strength training as is. Because if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It's been working.
See, that's what's annoying. Since last time I saw you, we were getting ready to do Wad Gods.
Yeah.
And then I didn't compete. I didn't compete because I blew my back out 2 weeks prior.
What did you do?
I can't.
You have herniation?
No, I think I've always had a herniation since I was 18, but it's been like minor. It's not nothing crazy, like to where I needed no kind of operation or anything like that. But we were doing something, and I missed. I'm trying to remember what it was. Like it was a power clean. I missed it for 275, and I was pissed. I was like, "Dude, this light. I should be able to get it." And so I waited and did some more working out after I loosened up a little bit and went back to it, and I got it. But when I got it, I set it down. I was like, nope. And so that was fine. That had me down. I think that was like 3 weeks out. That had me down for like a week. And I started feeling better. And I was like, okay, got in there moving around. And then I got the fucking flu.
Well,
And then I come off the flu. It was 3 days prior to the comp. And I was just like, dude, I don't feel comfortable. Like, one, I didn't feel comfortable. Then my wife had just had the flu too. So we both missed the competition.
that's okay.
It sucked.
Well, I think it's kind of great. So sometimes those roadblocks get put in your way, and it's a blessing when you look back and go, man, I trained all this time, and if I place like shit, now I'm going to be mad because of all the other stuff.
Well, here's the thing, though. Day of the 2 competitions, we showed up just to support people that were there, and I was like, dude, we could have done it. I felt comfortable. I was like, I feel good enough where I could at least place top 3, top 5 maybe. She could at least podium. I mean, got first probably for sure just based on what we were seeing. I was like, son of a bitch. But had we showed up, either way.
You never know. You could have got in there and then had the back
and
thing.
tweaked it again.
So that's where, like, I would rather, especially at this age now, you go, all right, this is not the last time I'm going to get to do this.
Yeah, man. We'll do it again next year.
Next year, fly under the radar. Don't nobody know nothing.
Yeah.
And then they go, God, man, you really improved since the last time I seen you.
Yeah, and also, like, this high rocks thing would be cool to train for the next 3 months because I'm going to have to shave off like 20 pounds. There's no way I can compete at this weight. Like, it just can't.
Oh, because
you know what I'm saying? Like,
what they're asking
all the
you.
cardio.
There's another thing like that called DECA. There's another, DEKA, I think it is. It's very, very similar. And I met a military dude in Ellsworth, South Dakota. He real big. And he's a physical therapist, but you could tell, like, he's big, but there ain't no fat on that dude.
Right.
And so it's a team competition.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar thing, but it's not the same parent company. So similar.
Well, this one is funny because these type of workouts we were doing all the time before we got into like full on CrossFit because all that crazy shit Billy does at CrossFit.
Yeah.
We're doing stuff like that all the time anyways.
Yeah.
So I just got to get back in the swing of doing that.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable. Now there's going to be a lot of people that are elite athletes that are going to beat me.
Right.
But
it's okay.
Doing if you do a partner, you get to split the reps up.
I would much rather. I don't like the solo stuff.
Well, I'd much rather do a partner too, but it's booked out. There ain't no more spots.
The solo to me is
me and
pressure.
You can partner up, bro.
Yeah, let me get healthy. We'll talk about that.
But there's a lot of them, so we could look at another one though if you get healthy. But the running you both have to do.
Yeah.
So if one's faster than the other, you got to wait on your partner to get there. So you might as well pace the run,
sure,
and then all out on the activities to split them up. Who's stronger and what? Like
sure.
If you're stronger at a row. You are. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let you get those rows where I might need to supplement something. You know what I'm
sure,
saying?
Like the wall balls, I'm not messing with that.
Well, see, I do a lot of that. That's what I'm saying. So like we could swap those up, or if I needed a break, you get 10, then I get another 30. You know what I mean? Like, you can do that, but on the singles, you got to do every single rep. So it's gonna be horrible. And I was like, dude, if I'm gonna do it, screw it, let's do it.
Well, some of that stuff is good to have something to shoot for. The solo stuff can be kind of pressure because I don't like showing up and letting nobody dominate ever. That's just not part of my whole me. I can't do it. So I'm probably going to hurt myself because I'm not letting you beat me.
Yeah.
And that's not the game. The game is let's do this again. So it's better, like if you said, hey, man, my knee's feeling weird. Can you do these wall balls, man? Mm-hmm. You're like, yeah, cool. Do the wall balls. I might be able to do like 30% and you do 70%.
Right, exactly.
And that way,
we're on the road. It's like, hey, bro.
Yeah,
you like all 1,000 meters for me, bro.
No. After the 1,000, I'm gonna need a minute to collect myself. But
after the 1,000, you got to get up and run 800 meters.
See, out of trouble.
Yeah.
So I think the transition, it'd be like a sprint triathlon.
Yeah.
So kind of like Dan. Like people don't know the background on Dan. Dan being, he competed at Worlds a couple times.
Yeah.
He was there one time with me.
Yeah.
As a jiu-jitsu guy and being banged up from the mats and then transition into running, that's kind of crazy.
He just finished
Ironman, isn't it?
Ironman, so he's coming on soon. We'll talk.
So I'm not trying to blow up his spot. I don't want to give this whole thing away, but it's pretty cool transition. So you can transition to it. It just takes a while. Yeah. So it would take me a while to trim down, like you're saying, because I'd have to take some good. It's a lot of good would have to go away. That's
what I'm saying. I'm not willing to do that, so I'm just gonna kind of stay where I think I'm gonna do like training for this like 2 days a week.
Yep.
And I'm gonna continue to do my CrossFit training like 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And so I may cut down 15 pounds maybe, during this just because I'm going to have a lot more cardio.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lose any strength. I'm not willing to like completely transform my body to go win one time for no reason. It's just,
put in a lot of work.
I'm going to show them do it. You know,
So
it's
that's
like
good,
just
man.
like have marathons. Whatever.
Yeah. Plus, you may, I don't know what kind of training tools they have, like at Billy's place. They have pretty good stuff, like the Echo bikes and the things like that.
Oh yeah.
So I actually I'm in the market for one. I keep busting my Airdyne Pro. They just bust the bearings out of
Echo,
that.
man.
So have you beat them up pretty good?
Yeah, we kind of see that gym's pretty cool. We'll just go in, I'll kind of go in and get new equipment and stuff bust. And so like we just got 2 new Echo bikes and 1 new ski erg or rower. We need another ski erg is what we need next. But we'll kind of, since we're kind of like the ones that are in there killing ourselves every day. Sure. We'll get together and say, hey man, we need a new piece of equipment, and we'll all kind of throw in $50-$60 and we can get a $800 Echo bike.
Sure, because I'm kind of looking into that.
It's a little more digestible than having to go spend $800. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like I went between Assault Fitness, like the new one, which that thing's not cheap.
No.
And I don't know that that's any better than the Airdyne, to be honest with you. The new whatever that one is called. But if I'm looking at my cardiovascular output, really has been. I've been on that assault bike or the Airdyne bike.
That's what I think. I think today what I'll do, I got to move these legs. I just got to. So I think today I'm going to do, we have a deload week anyways on our programming. They just said do a 60-minute walk. I was like, no, I'm going to ride. Well, I'm going to get on the Echo bike and do Tabatas, and I may do some overhead stuff if I'm feeling it. Well, next kind of like, I don't know, today. But I definitely may do some push or some pull. Nothing with legs other than some Tabatas, maybe like minute on, minute off, or 30 on, 30 off.
Have you tried that Norwegian thing yet?
What?
That 4 minute. Did
we talk about that?
Maybe not. So I've been on that for a minute. It dropped my blood pressure by 10 points.
Whoa, what is it? All right, I'm all about this.
So I'm not an endurance guy. Never been an endurance guy, but I figured this is a hole in my game. So I decided I think that's where the body fat went away. It's 4 minutes on, and it's 80 to 90% of your heart rate max, and then it's 3 minutes of off if you so choose,
or just barely spinning.
And that's for 4 rounds.
I prefer to actually barely spin on my off because when you sit still that long, dude, that you start locking, those quads start locking.
And so I know on the Airdyne I keep it right about 300 to 350 watts.
Okay,
and that's for 4 minutes that's
getting it
something else.
Because I'll do like 10 calories, and if I'm huffing, I can get to 700. If I'm trying to get like 10 calories in like 30 seconds, then I can huff and do that. But like progressively, 240 to 300 is kind of a...
So like 3 to 350 is that you keep it for the full 4 minutes?
4 minutes.
And then 3 minutes, I'll have farmer's walks or knees to elbows or jump ropes or plank or whatever. Because I don't like sitting still. I need to be better at that, but I don't like sitting still. So 4 minutes of activity, 3 minutes of not that activity for 4 rounds. So your heart rate is getting the endurance piece. Yeah. And that you're still at whatever heart rate you're at. So the better your heart rate gets, the higher your RPMs have to get. Yeah. So the better condition you get in, your RPMs got to go way up. So I got a whiteboard by my bike. So each week you go, all right, I had this one at 375 for full 4 minutes, 4 rounds. All right, cool. And my heart rate was this. And then next week I had 325 and my heart rate was this. And then you put like my knee hurt or whatever it is. But what you want to do is be able to go from 250 to 450 for 4 minutes.
And keep the same heart rate.
Same.
So I'm going to pull this up real quick. So
I know that's real sciencey, but
I'm going to give you this from yesterday. So yesterday let's see here. My run was 2 hours and 56 minutes for that 13 miles. Yeah. I should have been, if I was huffing it, it would have been like 2:30 maybe. Sure. Still like 13-minute pace mile pretty much. But for me, it's like cool. But I was in zone 4 for 36 minutes of that. Sweet. From 167 to 178 BPM. That's my zone 4. And then my zone 3 is 155 to 166. And I was in that for 1 hour, 14 minutes. So I was zone 3 most of the time. Sure. But my peak heart rate was 183. Ooh. But now, granted, I've done runs like this before, not this long, where my peak heart rate was 190 something. So like it has decreased, and my average heart rate was still 153. Now, like for performance as a runner, that's horrible. But like for me, I'm like, well, I mean,
You just run a little hot. That's all.
yeah, I run hot, but also if I were continuing to do this, I could get that down easily.
Sure.
Just like anything
So
else.
that's kind of where I'm going with this is, so long-term experiment with the 1 minute on, 1 minute off. And then I paired it with 4 minutes on, 3 minutes off, because that's the most studied endurance protocol that there is. As a Norwegian, a lot of people do it with running, being that I'm not willing to put the pounding on my joints.
Yeah.
I do it with the bike, or if you really want to get dusted, go ahead and put them gloves on and hit that bag.
See, I used to do it with a bag too. So
4 minutes, you have to touch the bag the whole time?
That's insane. That's like doing 30-second switches would kill you. And then I moved up to 1 minute switches.
4 minutes
Yeah,
I did
that's
that
insane.
the one time. So you can't, it's like a Nate Diaz pepper. Like
You can't give it 80%
you know what I mean?
output. Yeah.
And your heart rate stays crazy because you're constantly, hitting the bag. But that's a different kind of conditioning than the bike is. Just like it's a different kind of conditioning than the run is. So each one you can do almost like a West Side conjugate, to where you may have boxing for 4 minutes and 3, and then, or so I do it 2 times a week. So one time a week, it may be the boxing 4 minutes and 3, and then the other time is the bike 4 minutes and 3. Or you could do it to where you cut it in half, but you also cut the rest in half.
And you're getting what's that 21-minute workout?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Done. Done. So
Done.
that way you ain't spending much time.
No.
And I don't recommend doing it after training. You will absolutely hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So that's its own training.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. So for like people that are doing New Year's resolution, they're like, look, I don't have a lot of time. You could have a recumbent bike and do the same thing. So recumbent bike, they're sitting down. You don't have to have any balance. And at Planet Fitness, they got a bunch of them. And you can do an elliptical the same way. You can do a treadmill the same way. It doesn't matter. So that 4 minute block, whatever your heart rate is, and they may not be in good condition, but it don't matter. But whatever their heart rate is, they can do this and do it for a long time. They can say, look, one day I'm going to do the treadmill. One day I'm going to do elliptical. One day I'm going to do the bicycle. One day I'm going to do kettlebell swings. It doesn't matter. Whatever you got. But that endurance piece for like new people that are in there, and I know like this is the time when new people are going to do it.
Yeah. Well, this is the time that there's going to be people that start it and they either stick to it or they don't.
There's a weird thing called a quitting day.
What's the retention, Josh, on New Year's resolution?
It's
retention percentage. I know it's low, probably
very
30.
low.
I'll tell you, for me, it's really low.
Yeah.
So there's a thing. It's a 2 week. It's 2 weeks after. I think it's the 15th. I think it's the 15th. They call
when
it
they
Quitter's Day or Quitting Day.
Let me look that up too. But I want to see resolution retention, like the percentage.
10%.
10%. I was going to say 3.
And there's a thing is a 42% likelihood that you achieve goals if you write it down.
Yeah.
So there's one thing to make a promise. There's another thing to make a plan. So it goes right into the stuff like these 3 things I keep, and I say it to everybody. So your attendance is number 1 importance. Then your intention is number 2, and then your intensity is number 3. So the intention, like you say, I want to go do this. If you showed up, you got off your couch, you already won. So you already won. You just got to keep showing. If New Year's resolution people say, look, I just have to get to the gym. I don't care if you stay 5 minutes, you did something. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
The problem is when people get there, they don't know what they want to do when they get there.
They don't have a plan.
And that way, that's where people fall off.
Yeah, dude, that was me for a long time. Well, I got to where I had some actual plans, but that was me for a long time where I would just, I just knew that I had like, dude, probably for 5 solid years in between fight training and just weight training, like I would, because I had like a 6-year hiatus where I didn't fight and hardly trained. I might have trained,
just from
20
life?
or 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 20 or 30 times a year maybe where I was training 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
So I had a hiatus there, and during that hiatus, all I was doing was showing up, and I was just doing single muscle groups every day, like just bicep one day. That's it. I beat up biceps 45 minutes. Triceps one day.
How?
Dude, I had a plan that worked.
Wow.
But my I had a plan, and I had a rep scheme, and I had a weight, and I would just constantly just
big
blowed it up.
Yeah.
Like just bowed up like full of blood, and some supplements too, But like I did that for a long time, and I built so much muscle over that time. But what I'm saying is I didn't have a plan. I had rep schemes and I had exercises that I would keep doing.
Sure.
But I would never add in anything different.
And there's probably no goal. Like there's what are you trying to do?
Burn out these muscles. That's it.
Okay.
Whereas now it's like we have I have a full on training like plan.
Yeah.
That's laid out every single day for the entire year.
You know what would be really great for a first timer that is kind of nervous about going in the gym is saying whatever. So do your research. Don't just pick somebody, the pictures on the wall of the trainer, but pick somebody and say, hey, I've looked at your Instagram. I've looked at your Facebook. I've seen you working with people. I've asked around. I got the lay of the land. I'd like to set up 4 training sessions with you and to develop a plan to help me use this facility. And that way, the person, they're only paying for 4. So it's not like this big drawn out expense, but they learn how to use that place according to what that trainer had gave them. And then the trainer understands full well, look, this is not a long-term client.
Yeah.
And that there's no love lost. They know exactly, okay, each week I'm going to see this person one time and they'll repeat the plan during that week so they get it. Next week, there's a different variation and then show them different areas. And then they move on. And that maybe 3-4 months down the road, they come and try to
refresh.
Yeah. So number one, it boosts it gives the trainer the ability to help them, but not babysit them. It gives the person that doesn't know anything the ability to like get their feet wet without feeling stupid, and then it gives the gym a better look. Like, hey, we're educating our members. We're not trying to hold them, and like I think that would go real far.
Yeah,
I don't know why people don't do that.
We talked about this before though. Like when I was personal training, you was doing it for a full-time gig for a long time. And it's one of those things where I always had a goal. Like I want to let you go. I want to let you in the wild, and I just want to do, and I don't want to be babysitting you forever. Like I want to teach you these things, these life lessons, these workouts, how all this stuff works, how to diet, how to exercise, and then let you go.
Yep.
And I want to see you flourish.
Yep.
You know, and if you ever need to come back, but I don't want to be the person that's counting reps. You know
sure. What I mean? And if you did those 4 things, that would get them past that quitting rate. So if you did, let's say you started, what's today, the 2nd? Yeah, today's the 2nd. If you started the 2nd and you did 4 sessions from, let's say you did every Friday, you already got past the quitting window.
Yeah.
And that now you got 4 weeks of education that you did. So now you go and do it on your own. You're much less likely to quit because you just paid. You got skin in the game. You just got new education and you're kind of excited. So you're going to do at least another 30 days. So that's 60 days down. You probably got a new habit you just formed.
Yeah.
I think that's the move. So any trainer out there listening, this free game to you, where if it were me, the first quarter of the year, that's the service I would sell, is 4 session packages, or 8 if you want to have 2 times a week, whatever that person can afford. 4 sessions pretty cheap, and say, here's your session that we're going to guide you through, and here's your homework for this week. Magically, that program all gels together in a month program that they can repeat.
Yeah.
And at month 3, they come and see you again if they so choose.
I think that's great, but I think also there's those people that got to have somebody up their ass.
And that's okay too.
Yeah, that's some people, like, I mean, you've probably dealt with those people, like they probably have great results, but they just need someone sitting there.
Because they have lots of other things that pull at them, and that they haven't developed that want yet.
Yeah.
And so I don't judge anybody off that, even if they had to train as a pair. So they bring a friend, and that, look, you can cut down on the cost. So let's say you bridge the gap and said, okay, it's $30 for 30 minutes usually. I'm only going to charge you $40 for 30 minutes if 2 people train. So you technically, they both save $10 a piece.
Yeah.
You get $10 more per session.
Yeah, because they're doing the same thing together.
You know what I'm saying? And that way, they're going to keep each other accountable, and they may hold each other's hand, and you can step back.
Yeah, and a lot of people are.
It's a social too, man.
Yeah, well, they're probably anxious, don't want to do it, and a bit intimidated. And they can bring a friend, like, let's do this together.
So my mom and my sister, case in point, I just spoke to her, and I will go into that. So I just spoke to her yesterday for a long time. I don't like being on the phone, but that was one of the things that she had said she thought I could improve on. And I'll go into that because I was going to send it to you, but I figured I'd save it for today.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't want to go by herself because she don't know what she's doing. So I thought, well, if her and my mom went together, hired said trainer, and then they did their little intro thing, and then they could keep each other in the game, as opposed to saying, yeah, my brother, he knows what he's doing, but he's way far away. I'm out of sight, out of mind. So I'm like 1,000 miles away. I can't really help when I'm not there.
Well, are you going to vet their trainer?
If they will share it with me,
Yeah, if they will. Okay, so you're letting them make this decision.
Yeah,
you just
dude.
give them some advice and say, hey, this is how I would do it.
Yeah. And I would say, look, this is what they're looking. I'd even get on the phone with the person, male, female, I don't care, and say, look, this is what they're looking for. This is the concerns. I already know the orthopedic issues. Here's the deal. So I'm not trying to tell you how to write a program. I'm trying to tell you how to be successful and create a brand for yourself. And that person, if they're mature enough, they'll go, man, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm going to take this template, and then hopefully they flourish from it. It would be kind of good. I wish somebody would have said that to me.
Yeah.
I didn't learn that. Man, I didn't learn it till the last year I was training, the very last year. And that I transitioned after that. But it was a good segue of being in this first of the year. You caught me the day after my gut check. So I did, 15 miles or something on the bike yesterday because I have to, in the morning before everybody's awake, I got to get my stuff in.
Yeah.
And the bicycle, like a mountain bike, that kind of gets me in the headspace. And it was freezing cold. I didn't want to go out there, but you don't negotiate with terrorists. You do it. You do what you're supposed. You do what you're supposed to do. So I have my gloves on and my beanie, and I'm out there riding like a psycho. And that I kind of figured out there's some things that I'm avoiding that I don't think is appropriate. And so you can course correct within 30 days. You can course correct within an hour. So I was thinking there's some things that I need to address that either I've said, I'm too busy, or I don't need it, or it's going to complicate taxes or whatever. And so I said, all right, I'm going to send this out to people that I respect. So I stopped at the traffic light and I pushed my little thing because you got to wait. You can get hit by a car. Yeah. And so I'm typing furiously. I said, all right, I need you to tell me, I just got done with my Coming to Jesus talk. I need you to tell me, and don't mince words and don't sugarcoat it, of what I can do to provide more value as a human being, as a whatever. This is what I need from you. Hard stop. And just sent it. I sent it to some people that I knew from 20 years ago. Sent it to people that I work with. Sent it to people like my family. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to give me a different answer because they know a different me. So you know a different me than my wife does. Right. You know a different me than, both of y'all know the same me. Yeah. But every interaction, it's a different you it's a different slice of the onion. So the you in this podcast is not the you at your house. It's not the you at your job. It's not the you at barbecue. Right. This is not you. So I needed to hear what things I had been avoiding, or from their lens, what do they wish that I could provide? So from her, she said, just a couple words. You don't call me enough. And I went, got it. Done. Because that's easy. It's an easy one. I hate it, but I'm going to do it because you said that I'm not doing it. And you know what? Sometimes it's good to hear that. So called her, a great conversation. I talked to her almost 2 hours. I don't talk on the phone like that. Yeah. But she's my little sister. So you got to make the effort. So different answers came from different people. One of them was, stop trying to be everything. You already got it. You just are not using it. That's a good one. I had never heard that. He said, man, you're a walking brand. He said, you don't express this, and I don't understand why you don't. And I don't know if you're afraid of failing because maybe you don't believe what's coming out of your mouth, but he started listing off all the things that had happened since 2012 when I knew this dude. He goes, do you know that this happened and you did this, and you were here and you did this and you're responsible for this? And he said, well, do you know that people pay tens of thousands of dollars to hear people like you speak to them about how to be better at whatever that thing is? Yeah. He said, you keep trying to reinvent this thing. You don't need to reinvent anything. Sometimes you just got to stop and say, how can I help you? Which didn't realize that either. So it was kind of cool. I like doing the first of the month thing, especially around the first of the year, because people want to kind of know what you're saying because they're receptive to change. Yeah. Where I do mine 12 times a year, some people only do theirs once a year. Right now, everyone's accepted. They're ready. Yep. And for at least a week. And call it what you want. I like when I was riding, and you ever seen those giant flocks of black birds? Yeah. And every time, if you move, the whole thing does, looks like a big ass beehive, and it triggered something, and I went, all right, there's a parable to this. most human beings are just like those birds. So depending on who they're around is dependent on what level that they shift and move, good or bad. And I started thinking, well, for the people around me, how am I shifting them to their next thing? Am I taking them the right way? Am I going the right way? Because if I act nervous, or if I act impulsive, or if I'm not giving, if I'm not generous with my time or my intellect, like, where am I taking that ball of people? Because the people that you're around, they're like that big ass flock of black birds. It hit me in the face. I was riding the bike and going, damn, this is exactly how we're set up. So you think about it, the stuff that's popular in social media, magically so many people think that it's popular. Freaking Crocs and socks, people used to make fun of me for wearing it.
Oh yeah.
And now it's the thing. Yeah. So if I own my own shit and say, all right, what value am I bringing to you? How did I increase that value? And like, what direction did I take you? How did I help your life and not hurt it? So this is right after I sent that thing. So I'm going, damn, all right, I'm supposed to be riding this freaking bike. I see these big ass balls of birds, and that as soon as I rode, they'd shift and shift and shift. I think that that's what you do to people, and you don't realize it. And that sometimes you may be in your feelings and think like, oh, nothing, what I'm doing doesn't matter. That shit matters. It matters way more than you probably know. And that you may have said something just off the cuff, and that was that person's like life's mission from that point on.
Yeah, or that was that one way that they viewed you.
Yeah.
Too. You could look at it that way, where you may be this type of person all the time, but you might have just said this one thing in this one moment, and they just held on to that forever.
Yeah. And that, so
it could be good or bad.
Good or bad. And that goes into like, the person that you know now is not, the person you knew 10 years ago is not the person that you know now. So my sister asked me like the integrity of like, hey, what do you think about this person? She was kind of interested in seeing what this person was all about. And I stopped because I was going to give my initial reaction, and it wasn't good. And then I said, you know what? Let me not. Hold on. I know this person as a child.
Right.
I know this person up till like 15, 16 years old. I don't know this person as a man. So some people, they are really great as they mature into men. And that my observation of this person and what they were about and all the things for the last 20 years, I don't know this person. That could be a great person.
Yeah.
Or I could be around, like that person could have been such an upstanding person, such a great person to be around in my early 20s, and turned out to be an absolute terrible person.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like the person that I like, the people that I like when I'm around you and I can see like how you move. I don't have to talk to you, but I like when I can see and I can give somebody an honest assessment. They say, hey, do you know DJ? What's he like? And they go, oh yeah, he's cool because of this, this, and this, because I've seen you move. Let's say that I met you 10 years ago and somebody asked me, I can only give you what I know from that snapshot of time.
That's exactly right. Dude, that's actually very interesting, and everyone needs to listen to that, because that is the truth. Like these people that, I mean, for me, case in point, dude, oh my God, like how
much better you got?
Shit 10 years ago.
So you got so much better, right? And that's the great part is, and so the great part of the once a month thing is it allows you to say, is what my belief, is it still true? Because it could change in 30 days. My belief in training methodology, I just learned something new. It might have changed in 30 days.
Yeah.
My belief in the effectiveness podcast, it may have changed in 30 days. Your belief in, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. So the person, so think of the people that you grew up with and went to high school with, and like you just, in the people in the fight gyms, those people that you knew at that time, the version of those people are what you base your opinions on and you tell people about. They're not even the same. They ain't the same people.
You're exactly right.
I bet you if you met them now, the stories they tell you is nothing that you thought about.
Right.
Shit, your mom ain't the same person.
Yep.
Your mom that raised you is not the same lady.
Oh, hell no.
My mom ain't the same lady, because I look at her with my kids like, dude, you would have killed me.
Yeah, like, dude, you would have knocked me upside that wall.
That they just rode a tricycle around the table. Yeah, so what? You're like, what? You would have kicked me in the neck if you did it. So I'm learning, I don't know, somebody had told me, and then somebody had told me, I messaged a college teammate of mine, and he said, it's crazy that you're even thinking about it in this way. He said, but I'm here for it. And that what you're wrestling with is the knowledge that your time is running out, and that how can you do the best in the time you got. And that was pretty heavy, because he's right. I probably have more time that's behind me than I do ahead.
Yeah.
If you were being honest, at 84, I'm really old.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, yeah, if you make it that long,
Yeah.
you know, because how far you push your body and, you know, this and that, you know, like, and what you've done to your, like, is it, I mean, I feel like even, I mean, from what I know from me, like, I feel like I'm at halfway to 70. I'm 70. I'm probably not moving very well anymore.
See what I'm saying? So I think that this is good. And I like this after the first of the year, because it gives people something to think about of the treatment of not just other people that you have a preconceived notion of who they are. It might be the treatment of yourself. So the excuses you used to give yourself might not exist anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're not that same person. So maybe you were kind of impulsive, and maybe you made some bad decisions, you know, a year ago. You ain't the same person today. So you may start expecting different things of yourself, or you may let some things go because you put yourself on such a pedestal you can't reach it.
Yeah.
So case in point, I used to be that. The bar was so high that it was intentionally, I could never reach it. I could never reach it, because before I even got there, it was already okay, cool, that's fine, but I want to be this. Or such a high climb that nobody could reach it, and it was almost like you're trying to differentiate yourself as like, I'm special, I'm unique, and like to be respected. Where some of that stuff, you should knock that off the table, and that some of that stuff you're just supposed to celebrate, like, I'm even here. So if you get to get on the mats, you should be freaking grateful. Do you know how many times I laid in the freaking bed with that knee immobilizer on, and I wish that I could do something athletic, or that I could run a step, or like that half marathon. It sounds like ass.
Yeah.
I would love to do that half marathon. There ain't no way.
Yeah.
So it's some of that stuff, and it's coming with age.
It's like when you get injured, you take everything for granted as soon as you're injured or sick. When we get sick.
Now, what do you focus on when you're sick?
I'm ready to get well.
That's the only
That's
focus.
all the thing I think about.
Think of all the other crap that you allow to cloud everything.
But if you thought about like that all the time, you would probably never be sick.
Never.
You know, or not, I'd
or
say never,
ungrateful.
but also you'd be grateful for your health. Yeah.
So like being grateful, like gratitude is such a weird thing to try to not only just instill in a kid, but like to instill as an adult. And like the friend that I knew from 2012, he said, let me tell you something. He said, I've watched you. You have excelled at everything exponentially. And he said, you can't see it because you can't move past your own want to be the best. He said, I'm telling you, from the time that we used to always have this thing, say 2012 was going to be the greatest year. Every time I'd see him, I'd yell 2012. I would yell it because I was so convinced, like, I'm getting it. And sure as shit, got it. But when you look back at it, so how much time, how much money, how much life energy have you put into being the greatest thing that could breathe? Sometimes take a step back and go, I fucking did pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do today to help others do good. And that sometimes you giving is going to give you back more than what you had already set out. So like the coaching of people,
Yeah.
not like athletic, but like this. So if anybody were to whoever hears this, there's such value in like becoming an expert, and I'm going to dive into that because I've realized that I had misguided efforts. Becoming an expert for no other reason but to make your surrounding area elevated.
Yeah.
So in my career, the whole career, being an expert was always just to get to the next thing.
It was to help you.
It's selfish.
Yeah.
So being an expert at whatever, master's degree, whatever, like whatever it is, it was always like, I need to get here, to get here, to get here, to get here. Instead of just focusing on be the expert. The rest is going to handle itself. Like for this job, when I got here, like the urgency to be the best, it was self-serving because I wanted to leave so bad. So I figured if I was the very best at whatever that job was with the military for me, then I would be recognized, and then that would give me opportunities to move to the thing that I wanted to do, instead of just saying, I'm going to be that thing. Like, I'm going to be him. And that let opportunity do what it does. So sometimes that misguided stuff will leave you empty. And then you're wondering, well, like, why am I floundering? Why am I mad? So I've been given, I've not been given, I've earned everything that, I've been given the things that I've earned over the last 6 years. But it was misguided in why I wanted to get it. So I think that was false. And I've helped a lot of people along the way, but I think if I were to just be flat honest with me, the mastery of the thing is the goal. And if you are a master of that thing, you will help all the people that you want. And just by byproduct, you're going to get the back end.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on like, hey, I want to get to this position, just be freaking awesome at what you're doing beyond all shadow of a doubt. That stuff is going to be nothing. They're like, dude, you crushed it. And if it doesn't come, you're still the man.
I think that's a good perspective, because that's a headspace I've been trying to get in, because I was the same thing. I was just trying to excel to the next level so I'll get another opportunity. And now the level's on me, because I've taken all the responsibility and just went out and done my own thing. And now it's like, well, I just want to help everyone around me, because if I do that, I'm gonna excel tenfold, and it won't even be about me excelling. It'll be about look like my kids, look at this, look at what's here, or when every one of these episodes we have, look at what we talked about, look what was important. You know what I mean? Like what someone heard and they got out of that thing.
It's pretty legit, man. Yeah. It's pretty, like, it was profound. This is all on a bike ride, mind you.
Yeah.
This is within 90 minutes of a bike ride, which is kind of trippy that there's a space, you can hold that space if you remove all the extra stuff that's like coming in. There's something about, I heard some kind of philosopher talk about boredom, and that when you're bored, that's when your brain is allowed to do what it's supposed to do and like fix the problems you got. If you always have input coming in and you're never bored, and you're always checking something or watching something or talking to somebody, or like there's distraction, you never take that time to say, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? How do I get it better? Like what is this? And on those bike rides, sometimes I won't have nothing going on in the headphones. It's just trying to figure me out, because I can't control what you're doing. I can't control what my wife is doing. I can't control what my kids are doing. All you can do is control what you are doing, and then manage and advise the movement of everybody else, because you can't force it. Go ahead and try.
Yeah.
Watch how terrible that is. Yeah. And you can enforce rules, because kids are kids. But go ahead and try to make your wife do something.
Shit.
You see that reaction?
Yeah.
You're like, man, she could chop me in the neck.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if you got your own self handled, and like there's a certain level of calm about you, that program is probably going to get followed without you saying nothing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think I completely agree. I think that if you're in that, you have to know yourself and be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm. I keep sliding this damn chair. I don't know what's wrong with me.
You have to, notice and be honest with yourself. And then once you do that, and you have those conversations, I guess then whatever you want to happen is eventually going to happen if you keep holding yourself accountable. But if you're just, going with the motion, and you're constantly just reactive and not proactive, then I would see, where, you just get stuck in this ebb and flow of, hey, this is my life of the past 5 years or 10 years, whatever it may be.
Now, don't get the woo-woo stuff confused.
Yeah, no.
Like, I am ruthless when it comes to, like, getting after it. It's sometimes you got to quiet all that crazy, because without it, you're going to spin out, and then you're going to. So all of the monthly stuff, all of this stuff happened in 90 minutes. After the 90 minutes, like, I'm writing it down on my notes app, and then, like, when I get to work, I came up with this new slogan, by the way. So it's this action over everything. action over everything. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you're doing. I need to see it. And that if you're actionable, then all of this right here. So let's say that I just told you all the good stuff that I thought about it, but I didn't do shit about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. You just might as well throw it in the air. But if I said this and I made one effort per day towards that thing, and I did it for 365 days, I bet you that thing happens.
Yeah, no shit, for sure. Yeah, that's what I've thought about a lot lately too. Is like I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Like I don't need to talk about it. You'll talk about it. I won't have to because it's gonna be getting done.
And it's more impressive when you go, damn, how'd you do that? Well, I just did one thing every day. And I didn't want to say anything because now the pressure is like it has to be perfect. Mm-hmm. People are knowing about it. They're expecting something. And if something falls off the table a little bit, now I'm looking sheepish. Nope. So you move in silence and then you unveil when you feel like it.
Yeah.
So that is I think that's where I'm at right now. And I think everything, the gratefulness is even coming because like you guys are watching me grow up over the last however many times we've done this. The maturation process is crazy where you just learn more. You're watching like an adult. I feel like an adult, if you ever stop learning, you might as well start dying.
Well, so many people stop learning though. I mean, they refuse to. That's what's unfortunate.
Dude, I don't have the luxury. Do you know how I just told somebody the other day, I have less time than I got shit to do.
Same.
I want to do everything.
I'm trying to make time for everything. And I don't know, dude, you saw my calendar.
You're nuts.
You know how you the same way. Like you see my calendar, man. It's like just making every single day happen is an achievement in itself, not to mention trying to scale myself, businesses, my family. You know, when I say scale, I mean make better, not
sure.
not in a monetary.
No,
you know.
No, this is a life thing.
Yeah.
So now heavy concept. And I may be weird for thinking it. Maybe you think it too. Or maybe a lot of people think it. They just won't say it. So do you ever get the feeling like you're running, like there's an overwhelming sense that you're running out of time faster than you can do something about it?
I think the biggest, yes, in a sense. I think the biggest thing I get is like, what do I need to prioritize?
Yep.
And I'm not saying like family, of course, you know, I'm saying like on this action list, I just always have an action list.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, what's prioritized, and then check it off. I
got one thing at work that I use every day is what's going to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
And then everything else after that. Whatever's going to get me in trouble has to be done right now. So if there's something, if I can identify one thing that's going to get me in trouble, everything else is bonus.
You talking about take care of that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to get me in trouble, take care of it, immediate.
Right.
I don't have a choice. That has to get done like within the next 10 minutes. Everything after that is a bonus to set you up. But I have an overwhelming thought of, like when I go to bed at night, sometimes I'll go, I hope I get up because I got another chance to do it. Like there's an overwhelming sensation of like, I don't have a lot of time to make this thing big as it needs to be.
Yeah, I got you.
Again, and I don't know if it's the age that I am, or I don't know if like I got so much to teach and I just feel like I can't get it out fast enough. I'd say the last year and a half, I've had this weird feeling like I have to make moves. Have to make sure that people understand the way that I feel about them, and it has to be done. I cannot check out before like you guys understand what this is, because I've had like 4 or 5 classmates die.
Yeah, that's another thing too. But also, yeah, you hear that and see that, and I do too, and I'm already seeing it at my age, right? But you also realize, were those people living like they should have been? You know what I mean? So it's a different thing, but yes, it still is something to realize, because yes, oh shit, those people were the same age as me.
Yeah. And shit, I got 4 summers left with my kid.
Yeah.
So like real stuff. So I'll go into it because this is like, my parents never talked to me like this. And I'm trying to do life better in every 30 days than anybody I've ever known. Every 30 days, I'm trying to think of what were all the people around me, and over the last 42 years, what did they do, and do it better every 30 days. So over a decade, you should leave a damn big mark on the earth. So my kid, somebody asked her, hey, what do you want for Christmas? And it was all like, my mom this, my mom this, my mom that, and she deserves this and she deserves that. And I didn't say anything, but I went, damn, man. So the next day, like I kind of like collected, I was like, I didn't like the way that felt. That didn't taste good. So I talked to her the next day and I said, hey, when you said that, like, I'm gonna be honest, man, that kind of hurt my feelings. I said, do you know what I do for you, kid? And she goes, that typical 14-year-old kid. She was like, well, yeah, I mean, look, pay for stuff and look, you take us on stuff. I said, no. I said, kid, do you know that I've turned down multiple job offers, good ones, not for your brother and your sister, but for you.
Yeah.
Because your brother and sister are like extra like outgoing
They're
people.
malleable.
Yeah. And like, I'm looking out for you.
Yeah.
Like you're going to high school, like all the big trips and all the stuff. Do you know how much money I could save? But I'm trying to create memories because you're about to leave. Like you're the first kid. So I told her, I said, you know, the crazy thing is the value of a father or the value of man is not made apparent until after they die. You don't realize what a good man is until you sit back and go, son of a bitch. He was trying to help us this whole time.
Yeah.
And we don't ask for gold stars because we're a beast of burden, man. Like I want to make sure my wife and kids are good, regardless if I got ratty shoes on my feet. I need to make sure that I take them on these trips that I never got to see because why would you not give them a better experience than you had? We're not rich at all, but I will forego my happiness and dreams to make sure that they got theirs. And when I explained that to her, like you could tell she got all upset, but I was saying, well, don't ever get this wrong. Like I picked the right one. Like your mom is a damn good mom, like great lady. I couldn't have asked for a better one. But when you think about it, sometimes the stuff that you don't know that just magically happens and like the lights turn on or your car works or you're safe at night or like things of that nature, none of that is just on accident. Like usually your pops is the one making sure that everybody is safe and well cared for so you don't worry about stuff like that. Well,
it's one of those things. It's one of those things. It's like you get cut by both swords, right? It's like if you don't have all that opportunity, then you appreciate the hell out of it. When you do have the opportunity, you don't realize that you have it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Yep. So like being more mature about even interacting with family and realizing I don't have 50 years, 60 years to mentor you. I want you to carry this on to like my potential son-in-law to know like that man is working his ass off for you. You don't know it. He's never going to tell you he's sick. I said, I go to work if I'm sick, if I'm tired, if my fingers are broken, I don't care. Because I know you guys need this stuff and you need me to make sure it's okay. Mm-hmm. So even just changing the next generation of how she looks at a potential suitor is different and what she will expect. Like he should work hard for you. He should be able to tell you like, hey man, that didn't sit right with me. My parents didn't, there was none of that. They just didn't have the abilities to do it. They didn't want to. It was, my dad went to work and he just sucked it up and didn't say nothing. Ate his ass alive. Probably was what led to some of his bad behavior because he was like, look, I don't have a choice. I can't say anything about it. I just got to work these double shifts and that any time that I get, I'm going to drink or use some drugs to kind of like get my own space where I've learned enough and I'm grown enough to where I don't want that cycle of traumatic things to be carried on. Yeah. And that if I can give it to the girls, especially, they should be able to pick better. So hopefully they pick better than me.
Yeah.
Hopefully my son-in-law is the best human being. And at learning shit like this, it takes, I have to have frequent reminders. Otherwise I will steamroll everybody because I just want to consume everything and it's not a positive way. So for me, those little 30-day chunks is the only way that I can do it. Some people can get away with it, man. Shit, you might be one where you set it and forget it for a year and you can do it. I'm not him.
Man, I just think I'm constantly grinding and then just one thing falls in front of the other. It's kind of like one foot in front of the other every day. It's like I have this mental checklist of things that always have to be done and then I have these ever-changing checklists that change day to day to day to day to day, depending on what business is in check that day and what task needs to be done. You know, sometimes it's all three of them have shit going on. Sometimes it's 3 weeks of only one thing having something going on, you know. And so that changes constantly. And then the 1,000-foot view, my 1,000-foot view is not a 1,000-foot view anymore. It used to be. Now it's like a 50-foot view.
That's good.
That makes sense.
That's good.
And I think that's a good thing for me.
So
because it used to be a real broad
real
view.
big.
And with such a broad view, you can't focus on anything.
No. You just focus on getting to the end. You don't
Yeah.
appreciate the beginning.
Yeah, so it's more micro than macro now.
And even like it, so not just self-serving. I get to thinking about when's the last time I told my wife that I appreciated what she did, and I realized it had been a very long time. So I just sent a message. I was in the middle of training. I said, "Hey, just want to let you know, I appreciate who you are and what you do. From the family pictures, I never would have scheduled no family picture. From the family pictures to all the kid stuff, make sure they're all good, and all the stuff in between. Just I see it and I appreciate it. Didn't think nothing else. Hit send and I'm training. That meant more than me getting. I could have bought her a car. She wouldn't have cared less. So little things like that. If you stop and you just acknowledge 50-foot view of what things would I appreciate what things would I have appreciated if somebody would have done for me? Or maybe what things am I taking for granted that I probably shouldn't? So shit like that, like talking real life stuff to the kids, and then stuff like saying, hey, I appreciate it. Like all like you take for granted you're going to eat dinner tonight, and that you may not have said nothing. Hey, I appreciate you for getting to my favorite thing. You didn't have to. And that magically I didn't have to make it. It's some of that stuff goes unsaid. So I think that some of the first of anything, the first of the month, first of the year, first of whatever, probably should take a little bit of inventory. You don't have to go deep diving on no damn mountain bike ride. But even if you're sitting at a traffic light and you just say, all right, what the hell is going on and what can I do about it? I think that it would be beneficial to everybody.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think we miss all of that stuff. I mean, dude, look, life's busy. But it's always going to be. It's never going to slow down. You're just in a different season. Well, even still, you're going to be in a different season. You know what is crazy is I'm going to the grocery store real quick, and I see how slow these old people are moving. I'm like, fuck, they don't have nothing. They don't have nothing else going on.
I love it.
They don't have nothing else going on. But is that by design or by choice?
Hopefully design.
I don't want to be. I still don't want to be that old person having nothing going on. I love shit going on.
You won't be. I would say if you see me as an old dude, I hope that I have my own little farm, like hobby farm. I'm not gonna make no money off it.
Right.
But you grow your own vegetables. You can kill some rabbits, whatever it is. You got something to tend to keep your mind going.
Yeah. Well, I just think that generationally everything's evolving. Like it's just funny how like two generations before us, not our parents but our grandparents, like everything was just like simplistic, and it's like the discussions are so like, can you believe so-and-so's doing this, or can you believe this price of this is this now, where it's like, I'm not having that conversation with someone. I have too much shit going on.
Yep.
I don't care about we're in a fast-paced society, and it's probably times 100 since they were at this age in this society.
Sure.
Like I have to live in order to stay competitive in sport, in life, in business. I have to stay on my up and up all the time.
You know, I have the luxury of contemplating this stuff because you sacrificed for 30 years prior.
Yeah.
So all that crazy of cram it and that you have to go through the suck.
Yeah.
So for the young ones listening, there's no cheat code. There's no
fucking cheat
woo.
code. There's one.
None of that.
Even if you hit it big and make a viral video and say you get a bunch of fucking sponsors and you make $1 million,
yeah,
you're gonna spend that shit so quick. And what are you gonna do to make the next $1 million? You know what I mean, or whatever it may be. You're gonna have to go through some adversity.
Now the principles are still there.
Yeah.
So I would say the principles from old to a young, that's still there. So principles being realize what you want to get out of it instead of just like ego lifting or like trying to impress your friends or girls or whoever. where are you trying to get to? Make a plan to get to that, and then have some people hold you accountable, saying, "Hey, where you at on your plan? Where you at? Hey, how can I help you? Where you at?" Get some mentors, people like our age, and let's say you're 22 years old, just get out of school, trade school, college, whatever. At 22, imagine if you could execute on the stuff you know now, and how much better your choices would have been and opportunities if you could have said, yes, hard work beats most things.
Yeah.
But what if you were working hard in the area that's going to make the most impact? Instead of wasting 2-3 years cumulative of like trying to figure, oh, I'll try this, I'll go here, I'll do this. And you said, no, all right, this is what you're going to do. You're going to put your ass on a budget. You're going to eat foods that were alive. You're going to go to bed. You're going to get around people that are doing better than you, and you're going to repeat that forever until you like what life looks like. You'd have a pretty damn good life. You have some cool stories too.
Yeah.
And that you didn't waste years of just fucking around. You get some cool stories out of it, don't get it wrong.
For sure.
And you could take part in it, but you don't have to be the main character.
That's a very good point.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I can
Being
still
a main
tell
character's so much more fun.
like I can tell all the crazy stories about like people going into frat houses and taking upper deckers, and like I wasn't the main character though. And so it's way funnier to me to tell stories about people doing that. I ain't naming any names because it's incriminating.
Yeah.
But watching people do crazy things while still going after your stuff in a more positive way, in a more pointed way. At 30 years old, you could be going 40. I'm be crushing everything. I'm living awesome at 30. And that all I got to do is continue this. Oh, no, we got this. Instead of at 40 years old, like everything is gelled and you go, okay, I got it. Do this shit at 30.
Yeah, it's nice. That is one thing that's nice. But it's so funny too. Like people, our parents, they ain't figured it out.
No.
It's almost, you know what I mean?
No. And that's the sad part is.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it was just how it fell, or just we are fortunate enough, and I'll say this, we're an extremely rare time to where it's almost like the people that were around when the car was invented. They got to see the horse and they got to see the car.
Sure.
We got to see no internet
and internet. So we have skills in both.
Correct. But we still have those survival instincts, whereas our predecessors, that's all they have.
Sure.
You know, some of them have slowly evolved to be able to use this, but 90% of them aren't. If you look at them, they're like,
they want the pension
mom,
job.
like, I'm not good at texting.
Exactly.
You can become better, but they don't want, you know what I'm saying? So, they've already, there's no more sponge years left for them. They don't want it. They don't want to
We would have been the same without the access to smart people around the world.
Correct.
So the only reason why that we're even having this conversation is because I've heard smart people from all around the world on my phone speak about different things and made me think, okay, what can I do about this? It just gives you the more info that your input, the more it allows you to think about it and change something. So let's say that I never picked up a smartphone and I never listened to TED Talks and I never listened to people that are multi-billionaires about what they do or influential anybody. Why would I think any different than what's around me? So now I'm trying to develop the skills to where like you never really age out, to where if you're always thinking of, okay, how can I remove redundancy? I think in your 80s, you could still be very useful.
I get exciting in business when I see someone in their 60s or 70s that send me an email invitation.
This is great.
I'm like, fuck yeah.
Because they asked somebody or they researched it.
They see me like I'll send you an invite for a meeting. I'm like, or Zoom call. I'm like, oh shit, like that's cool. You know what I mean?
And they could even say, hey Siri, how do you send a thing? So even just the thought of integrating technology with the old school work ethic, that's the win. Yeah. So having tech savvy, but you got no work ethic, you don't show up on time, that's stupid.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You got to have both. Having both is like we're at the pinnacle of at least the next 100 years. And as our kids get older, and maybe we're still old enough to move and operate, they're not going to know anything about that, and we still have it. You know what I'm saying? So until we phase out, we're the last of the Mohegans, so to speak.
You know, that's kind of why I do what I do. So could I hire people to fix stuff in my house? Yeah.
I think about it all the time.
Do I need to grow stuff in my yard? No. Do I need to kill animals in the woods? No.
Well, I'm the same way, but the only time I do hire people to do stuff is I've vetted them and I'm almost babysitting them doing it.
100%.
But I'm utilizing, I can say, okay, I want this, extremely particular about this, and this. Maybe it's fabrication for the trailer or whatever. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
I want this, and this, and this, and I've measured it all out for you. Here you go. I don't have time to physically do it, but like I still like to stay involved because I'm like, okay, well, at least I know what's going on. So I want to know anything, even if I hire someone out, I want to know exactly what's going on when it's done. I just don't have time to do it. Well, it's not that I don't have time. It's that I'd rather spend time doing something else. Yeah.
And that it'll show that you're going to show your kids on, look, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
But you may be able to delegate while you're doing something else.
Well, it's funny because my neighbor said some shit like something the other day, or his wife, they were talking about stuff because he's always working on something, but he just has, he has his job and that's cool. And
sure.
He comes home and works on stuff or whatever. And their kids are grown. But I remember them saying something, and I think his wife said something about, does DJ even know how to do stuff like that? He's like, hell yeah, DJ's just always trading and doing stuff because he's doing other stuff. He knows he can do that stuff, because, if I have to tear down my motor and put a new fucking head on it, I can do it.
Sure.
But, like, where and when am I going to do it? That's not my priority. I'm going to take it and drop it off with someone I trust. They can do it for me.
Nothing wrong with that, but that's how you're not going to age out, though. Because you have the skills. So let's say that we had another lockdown. Let's say that, let's not do that. But
no, let's not.
Let's just say that somebody lost their mind and like you can't get the things that you want to do. You don't have access to whoever. Mm-hmm. You can still do it. No, it may not be as fast because you got to figure out like, well, I don't have the right tools. I don't have the right space. You could do it though.
Yeah, I can do it.
That's the thing is.
There are still weird times though where I will do it. Well, I'll just stop everything. Like, there was a plumbing issue, and I just called one of our plumbers. One, I trust him, and I didn't have time to mess with it. But there was a plumbing issue 3 months prior that was way more intricate that I decided to do myself. Well, it just depends on the day and time, honestly.
So, and that's the thing is you have the ability to choose when you have the skills to do it. Yeah. If you don't have the skills.
You don't have them at all. You have no. That's exactly right. It's a very good point.
Then you are subject to whatever somebody gives you.
If everything hits the fan, the grid gets attacked tomorrow, all data goes down, all internet goes down.
What can you do?
What can you do?
Because they're going to be the rich ones. Or the ones, what can you do?
Well, also like one of my businesses will completely go away.
Sure.
But at least I still have some other means of having to make money or figure it out.
Sure.
Like, and if all else fails, I know how to work with these.
You can survive.
I can work with these. And I can kill with these. I can cook with these. I can repair things with these.
And it kind of goes into that shirt. So I didn't forget about the shirt.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about it.
So it kind of goes into the shirt. So if you know how to grow your own food, you know how to cultivate your own food. You understand there's food all around you. You might not want it right now because nobody thinks about eating pigeon. Nobody thinks about eating squirrel.
Bird chirping out there right now.
Yeah.
That's food.
You could do it. You could do it, but like the shirt, if the camera sees us, make America healthy again.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a great thing. So I hope something comes of that.
I was rooting for him anyways. Like I was like, if you get a chance to even run, you got my vote just because I love some of the policies, but I love the healthy thing,
the message.
I love the message. I love what he stands for, and I love that he's on the side who is taking office.
Sure.
Now because it's hopefully these things that they have been preaching and talking about will be implemented.
The dyes in the foods and things.
But so much more than that, like just regulations and what's being done from big big pharma and all these. There's going to be a lot of shaking.
Could be some changes.
There's going to be some shaking of trees.
We need to get some affordable stem cells. What we need.
Well,
so
I want to talk to you about.
I did
want to talk to you about something. So you're on TRT, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been on TRT?
3 years.
So I'm a year in. Shout out Core Medical, but I'm using peptides too. So I don't know if
they're great. They're great.
You're using peptides?
I don't use them regularly.
Okay, well I'm using IGF-1 right now.
I've never used that one.
Okay, it's great.
Mine is just for the healing. So when I had surgeries,
157 stuff
with the TB, whatever, you got a parent, but expensive, man.
Yeah, they're expensive as fuck. But
it helped me heal 6 months early.
Well, for me, it's been recovery. So IGF-1 has been great. Now, yes, it's expensive, but I'm like, dude, I can't put a price on my time and health. So it's like one of those things where I'll sacrifice going out to
dollars.
eat or whatever, for a couple months to get me, what I need for 3 months,
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I'm TRT, of course, because I have to, because of, what I've done in my past. And then exclusively right now it's IGF-1, which has been around a long time. A lot of people used to take it via, what's it called when you put it like sublingual or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
but
drops.
but now it's, you inject it just like you would, into your into your belly, just like you would your BPC 157.
Sure.
Well, you can spot inject BPC 157 too. But yeah, man. So you take it for like up to 6 months. So like I'm on my first 3 months, but you take it 5 days a week, and then you take off a couple days, and 5 days a week. So you're taking a little bitty tiny 20 micrograms a day or whatever.
Okay.
But it's helped me so much
What's
in recovery.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's helped with recovery. It's also helped with my endurance, and I would just say like, I don't know. I just feel better.
So is it from a compounding pharmacy, or is it Peptide Sciences?
It's through Core Medical. So
Okay.
everything's legit.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So because I got with Core Medical when oh man, we hooked up. When was that? How many months? It's been 6 months probably.
Yeah. Colton was on.
Yeah, Colton.
6 months.
Is he a part of that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So he leads up their nonprofit. So they have a nonprofit that specializes in treating post PTSD with accurate hormone replacement therapy, because that leads to all things. Like dropping testosterone leads to depression, anxiety, all these things.
There's a bunch of research on brain health with that.
So he leads up that. He's in charge of their nonprofit, but I also got with him on the pharmaceutical side and hooked up with the therapy side. And so now I was going to go with the big box store, but I went with Core Med instead because I can make a phone call to him.
You can see him.
Well, and I know
here.
I know what the cause is too, So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I've been on it for a while, and I like it, and I'll probably run it for like another 3 months, and then there's some other peptides I'm looking at.
I actually got off the phone with the doc. Like, all the numbers were crazy good, and I told him about the Norwegian thing. He said, I have to try that because the numbers it's the best that they've ever been, and at everything from blood pressure to lipid panel to everything. And I had asked him, I said, all right, what if shit hits the fan and like the supply chain goes down and all the other stuff, like it just all the way goes off the rails. I said, what would you do? And he said, well, okay, enclomiphene every day until you run out, and your system will rebound. And so, because I worry about that
so
stuff.
You're taking TRT, and then do you take like a anti-estrogen once a week and a clomiphene once a week?
No, 3 times a week on enclomiphene.
So I'm taking, I only have,
because I want to keep the system going.
I have it twice a week on my
I want to keep the system going, and that.
So, but you're taking it. Do you take it the day after your shot?
Either day after or day prior.
And then another, but you're only taking 1 shot a week.
2.
But are you doing a 7-8?
Very small, yeah.
7-8, yeah.
I like the lowest that you can.
Like half a C a week or something.
Not even.
Yeah, so I'm doing like half a C a week is what I am. But I'm in clomiphene twice a week, half a C a week. But I swapped to enanthate because Symphonate, and I asked very blatantly, I was like, I've been a black market user forever. You know what I mean? So like I was straight up with them with about everything. I was like, dude, I just come off some Anavar, and I ran trend and test on and off for like 10 years. Like, I'm insane. I've done all kind of shit. So anything you throw at me, I'm going to listen to you, but also I know what works. So I did Cypionate for the first portion of like my TRT, and Cypionate's great. And it stays in your system longer. It's got a better half-life, but I prefer an anthate because it doesn't put as much water on me. It doesn't bloat me as much. So I just asked him, and he's like, yeah, that's fine. We can do an anthate, and they were cool with it. And with the enanthate, that's just my protocol now. It's like twice a week. It's so I'm taking actually half a C a week. So it's like a quarter C twice a week.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Half a C.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
and that's where my level is. All I asked him, I said, just keep it stable like I was 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, I could be humongous.
Me too, dude. I could take that. I could double my dosage and get more.
No, I don't. I'm good.
Sometimes I want to. Every now and then I want to. When they get to talking shit in the gym, I'm like, dude, I will come back in 6 weeks and murder all of you.
Yeah. I told him, I said, look, man, what I don't want to do is, I don't want to hurt anything. Like, my whole thing is I want to be as healthy as I can. And if anything happened, the least amount of insult to the system that you have, the better you could recover. If you ever said, look, man, I want to have another kid, or you wanted to, look, if something happened and the supply chain went down, your system will go, okay.
Right. So you're just saying you're running the clomiphene just to rebound your system as much as possible to get producing testosterone naturally.
Oh, yeah.
Just so everyone understands.
In the background.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, always in the background of, because look, I never like to be beholden to anything. It scares me.
Yeah.
Like if I have to have you, that scares me.
I get that.
Because what if somebody were to say, cute story, but we're banning everything, or we're going to triple the price?
Well, being on it, even self-medicating for so long, there's been times where I didn't have it. It's horrible. So it's horrible. It's horrible on everyone around you too.
Yeah. And so I always told him, I said, look, I just want to be to where I recover. Yeah. I'm not looking to set any kind of records. I'm not doing any of that. I want to be able to recover. I want to be able to sleep. And then if something ever happened, that it would be a quick turnaround. And the dude was like, oh, yeah. He said, what I would do is daily take it until you run out. And that when you run out, your system will rebound pretty quick after that.
I talked to one of the ladies who she's a she's a nurse practitioner, but she's very well versed in all this stuff. She's one of the onboarding, clinicians. And she was just like, I was having all these, I was having the exact same conversations as you, but I was having the more like, this is what I'm trying to resolve, because one day, hopefully I don't have to be on this. And she said, I just had someone who's 65 years old. We just pulled off, and he's been on TRT for 20 years. Okay. And she said he's producing testosterone naturally. His levels are between 600 and 700 now.
See, you have the same fears.
Of course I do, because dude, I've abused stuff for 15 years of my life, you know, so that creates some stigma, and it's like I pretty much demolish the chance of reproducing, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
At an early age. And then it's like, okay, well, what happens when this runs out? But also that is a hope, like, okay, well, I know I can restore it, you know, but it's not going to be 900, 1,000.
That's okay.
But even if it's 400, 500 at 65 years old,
you're good.
That's phenomenal.
And that's exactly, okay, so that's the healthful way to look at it. So I was on the other side, I was terrified
if it would run out
to even start, because they were like, look, man, like you're in the tank real bad.
Yeah.
And the HCG worked, but they banned it, and you can't use it.
Well, yeah, Louisiana has some weird. I was trying to get that too, and we couldn't get it. But
crazy expensive.
Well, this is what Colton and I was talking about. Is yes, we still have muscle. Yes, we're still strong. But when your test goes from 700 one month to 200 or 100 the next month, and it doesn't balance well, and it's all over the place based on stress, based on how you mitigate it, based on how much you're working out, how much your lack of sleep, how you're eating, your home life, your work life, and you've had all these precursors of you abusing these supplements. Like, dude, it does something to you, and it's like you see me, you see anybody, you may think, dude, they're 1,200, their tests run at 1,200, walking around, they're strong as shit. You might be strong, but dude, you could be in the tank. They have no idea, and you could be feeling like absolute dog shit.
Yep.
And that's where I was a lot of the time.
Okay.
And I didn't know it. Like, sometimes I'd peak at 1,000, and then the next thing I'd be at 100,
See, and that's where I was consistently at like 100, 150, and they didn't know why. And the only thing you can think of is just head injury, like head trauma.
Yeah.
Constant.
And that's another thing, CTE.
Constant. And then, so I was terrified. Like they had me on the HCG protocol and got me regular. And then it went right back down, and they said, look, man, you're about the age to where you probably should think about like mitigating this whole thing. And that I was terrified. They sent me the thing, and I was going, dude, I don't know. Like I went back like 3 or 4 times. Like I'd look at it and go, no, I can't do it. Look at it. No, I can't do it. Because like my whole career, like I always would be like, I don't care what you use, I'm beating your ass.
Right.
Like it used to be like, I would stand
those
on
guys,
that.
but you would look at them and be like, they're running gear, I'm going to smoke them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was going, damn, I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But then I started to think about it, and one of the docs, world-renowned dude, his name is Dr. Conover. If you ever look at his name, is Craig Conover. Crazy smart dude. And I used to train him, and he told me one day, he said, look, man, he said, having too low is just as bad as having too high. Mm-hmm. Having too low is going to cause heart problems. Having too high is going to cause heart problems. He said, really and truly, you're trying to have the best quality of life from here on out. He said, there's nothing to hang your hat about. There's nothing to be ashamed about. He said, this is something your body is producing, and it's not doing a great job at doing it. So my recommendation is to make sure that you're at this level. And that when I heard that, I never heard it like that. It was always like a weird stigma attached to it. So I went, well, okay. I mean, world-renowned doc is talking about this, so let me give it a shot. And gave it a shot, and it's been pretty good. I haven't had, but I also am very, very conservative dosing, like very.
Yeah.
And I've always kept it like that because I know like I could be humongous. Like when they first put me on HCG, I couldn't fit in the shirt. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Where I came back from my checkup and they go, what is going on? And they tested it. I was like 1,500 because my body responded real crazy. And they ratcheted me down to like a quarter of the dose. And then it was like normal. But then when they said you can no longer compound the HCG, you can't do it anymore. And they took it away. I didn't really have any other option. So you either had to go Clomid, which I tried, and my body just didn't do good.
Yeah, I never did anything with it. It was horrible. It put me in the tank.
Yeah, it didn't do good. And they said, or you can try lowest dose of what is it, Cipinate?
Yeah,
Cipinate, lowest dose. And that will keep you and will monitor you. We want you to about 800 to 1,000, no higher. And I used 750, 800, like in that range. And I felt pretty good. And now granted, am I killing any kind of strength like world records? No, but I also don't want to.
Yeah.
Because when my body broke apart in 5 years, and that was with me on nothing.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how many tendons I would blow out if I were chasing those giant things again, and you got the ability to go harder. Nope. So I am completely content with saying, look, I feel good. When I don't feel good, we'll talk about the doc. And that if it ever went weird, you could always step away.
Yeah.
Which I was happy about that because anything like if they do shut down or tariffs or whatever, like if stuff gets triple the price, then you can decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
Instead of, well, shit, I guess I'm broke now.
Yeah, that's how it is right now. It's like, dude, I'm just trying to find a mitigate longevity for me. It's not about performance. Look, I tell everybody that too. Like, I'm lucky to get 4 or 5 workouts in a week, and that's pushing that. Those workouts are I almost want to die.
Dude, my workout is so slack. If you were to look at my workout now, the intensity is high.
Right.
But if you were to look at it on paper, it looks stupid.
Yeah, but I'm doing competitor workouts now. Am I doing them to the best of my capabilities all the time? No. To maximum efficiency? No. But if I can get at least 4 a week, 3, 4 a week, and I can get out of bed every morning, I can get some sleep, then I'm cool. That's all I want.
Now, I will say to anybody that's even thinking about any of this, if you have a 2 that starts with your age, you are not in the conversation.
Dude, look, the only reason I'm on it at 35 is because at your age, in them 2s, I was running, my test was at 2,000.
And if you haven't trained for a decade, like for real,
yeah.
And I'm not talking about broing it out. I'm saying like you've tried to do the sleep and the food and the water and the creatine. Matter of fact, there's a new research on creatine.
I'm taking 3,000 milligrams a day, sir.
New research. Yep. So you can not erase a poor night of sleep, but you can buoy a poor night of sleep on between 10 and 15 grams of creatine the next day. And it's even more potent for ladies because they don't have as much skeletal tissue as we do. So it's more effective on them.
Yeah, we're on that protocol too. We added that in. I'm on I'm on your your K2 and your vitamin D3 combo.
Yep.
Your multi for sure.
Yep.
Athletic greens.
Yep.
Turmeric daily.
I don't do that anymore. It was staining my glasses.
Stain your glasses?
Yeah, that damn thing is all yellow. It'll stain your glass.
Oh, no, they have chewables.
You do the capsules?
They have chewables.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with creatine. They got some chewables now that are pretty good. I'll see you a link.
Yeah, the turmeric, it'll stain your glass.
That shit's orange. No, they got chewable.
Okay.
Same thing with the creatine. The creatine, you get 4 and you get 5,000 milligrams.
Okay.
Or 5 grams.
Yeah.
Per 4. Mm-hmm. I'm just eating 2. I'm going to eat. Plus, I've had days, like in the winter, I'm bad about not consuming enough water.
Gotcha.
In the summer, I drink plenty, but in the winter, I'm like lucky to get a half gallon in.
Gotcha.
So like I'm like kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna do 2 grams a day efficiently. That's gonna help me. But yeah, dude, there's a lot of stuff out there. What's the diet like right now for you?
That's pretty. I mean, like today, should have 3 times today? I've eaten 3 times.
Or were you still like on the side of carnivore with some like what are you at? Or
Man, it's roughly the same. I got a bunch of colors. So like for breakfast this morning, it's a weird breakfast, but it's 10 ounces of chicken. You had some basmati rice, and then you had, but I had some, I don't know, Szechuan. How do you say it? The Asian sauce.
Yeah,
whatever that sauce is.
Josh knows how to say it, I'm sure.
I can't say it, but whatever it is, you know what it is, dark sauce.
Yeah.
And then I had the Asian, like water chestnuts and all that. You can get a mix at Brookshire's. So I had that in there. And then next meal was protein shake, 2 string cheeses, and then I had apple. And then right before I came here, carrots, peas, 10 more ounces of chicken, and then half cup basmati rice. It looks all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Mine's pretty much like first thing in the morning, piss, cold plunge, get up, protein shake, 40 grams Jocko with I'm still using that protein almond milk. I like it okay.
Yeah.
And then I go into a protein bar mid morning. Lunch is usually, if I'm down here, it's like what I can grab down here, like boiled shrimp and some red beans for a little bit of carbs, but also more protein, high protein, low carb still. And then come back home, maybe have another protein bar as soon as we get done with this, some fruit, hit the gym, and I have a big dinner. Big dinner is probably going to be a lot of meat and not that much carbs. I'm probably
so you're still pretty low.
Yeah, 250 on protein, 100 on carbs, 100 on fat.
So
and I love it. I love it right there.
For your macros, what we're looking at, sorry, something's going off. That was distraction.
You're good.
So what I've been starting to do is for the people that are doing like their in-body stuff with me, and so I'll take their lean body mass and times it by 1. Mm-hmm. And so it's a lower number than taking your body weight, because if you got a 320-pound person, you may not need 320 grams of protein.
Exactly.
So they may have 150 pounds of lean mass. So I'll do, all right, 1 gram per lean pound to start with as a minimum. Then you take whatever their total calories for the day is, you times it by 0.25. Mm-hmm. That'll give you how many grams of fat they're supposed to have.
Gotcha.
And then you backfill it with how many grams of carbs are left over.
Okay.
And that way they got 25% of their daily intake is going to be fats, because you need it for your brain and your hormones and all those stuff. Minimum amount for your protein, non-negotiable, and then the carbs can get filled into the back end. If you don't want as much carbs, then you can always add more protein and more fat.
Yeah, I adjust carbs based on load.
Yep.
Like based on the day.
Yep.
Like yesterday, I had 215, I think, because I had that run.
Yeah.
Probably could have had 300, honestly, because I burned 2,900 calories just in the whole race. I could have whatever I wanted. But I felt good at that. That's where I was like 250, 200. I mean, it was like 215 I had.
Yep.
That felt carb heavy for me.
Yep.
But granted, I will fuck up some fruit, and I'll get to 100 grams easy.
Oh, that's cool.
On carbs every day.
So for the average person, they don't really know what's happening. So no. I try to give them an ideal of where you're going. So you got your 25% where you can't violate, because some people, what they do is they'll do like 60% carbs and fat, and then 40% protein, where I try to switch it to where you got 60% of your intake is going to be protein and fat, and then 40% would be your carbohydrate, for most people, to where they're going, okay, well, I can get down with this.
Hey, Josh, can you look up something? Can you look up the while you're on this topic, I don't want to lose it. Can you look up the average American diet based on percentages? Like macros. I want to see. I'm betting it's 80% carbs.
It might be.
So
I know.
Yeah, I want to see, like, is it, on like carbs, fat, protein, what's the average American? And we are in the worst state in the actual country for this too. So
I would recommend that 25% for your fat. It's a decent amount too. It depends on, like, let's say that your intake is supposed to be 2,700 calories a day.
Yeah.
That's a decent amount.
What is it? 50% carbohydrate, 5% fat, and 15% protein.
That's about right.
I believe it.
That's about right.
So you're seeing it's you're thinking about 40% carbs.
Yep.
And then supplemented with fat, and then very low protein.
Yep. And so what I'm trying to do is reverse that. So where protein is your first thing that you think about ever.
That's where I'm at. I'm at 64, 20.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's so because some people, they love carbs. So I'm not going to take it from them. Otherwise, they won't do it. So it's whatever their lean body mass, it's not even up to me. It's whatever you're showing. It's whatever they're showing. So if it's 100, it's 100. If it's 200, it's 200. It's not up to me. That's how much protein you got to get. And then we go to your fat. So you got your protein covered, then you go right to your fat. Then anything left over, look, man, there's your carbs right there. I didn't take nothing from you.
Yeah.
And that if you don't feel comfortable with that much carbs, take away the carbs and add some protein and some fat to it and just have your little bit of carbs in the middle.
I like that. I mean, I just know what works for me, but everyone asks me that. I'm like, dude, I'm not the same as you. You know, Josh and I have this conversation. Josh doesn't have a gallbladder, so he can't eat a keto diet. There's no way. There's no way he can. Like, he's gonna be shitting constantly. He's not getting any nutrients.
Right.
Yeah, but not a good reason. So like, he's gonna have to supplement with good carbs. You know, like whatever, maybe rice, sweet potatoes, whatever. Like, whereas I can do a higher fat, you know, or the fat and carb ratio can both be low, and then my protein be high, and I can get away with that. You know,
so I have 2 meals where they're decent fat. So lunch and dinner are always going to be decent.
Same.
Breakfast never, because I train in the morning.
Fat in my breakfast.
That I train in the morning, so fat and fiber is not around there. It's not good. So lots of carbohydrates in the morning with the protein, and then moderate, you know, as you go on through the day. But usually it's real vegetable, fat heavy, and obviously protein is constant, each one. In the morning, I need it more than I need it in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because I'm not training in the afternoon. If I was training in the afternoon, it'd be flip-flop.
I'm training in the afternoon, so I have a lot more protein at lunch and after my workout, and then I have a little bit of carbs before. So like right now, I'll be training in, we've got to get off here in a second, because I'll be training in about an hour and a half. And yeah. And so as soon as I get done here, I'm about to eat a protein bar, but those protein bars are like 20 grams carbs, 15 grams proteins.
Certain brand or just rotate?
That shit, dude, I rotate them because I get so burnt out. I'm on like the built ones right now.
Yeah.
Because I got burnt out on the Irvines.
Yeah, the peanut butter and jelly one is disgusting to me now.
The Irvine?
Yeah, I don't like them.
My favorite's
anymore.
those damn wafer ones, and I can't find them anymore. Like
the mint chocolate ones?
No, the wafer. They're like peanut butter, but they're like the Nutter Butters.
Yeah, I've seen
those.
those.
Favorites. I would beat them up. Now I'm on like I said, Built bars right now.
See, well, it probably doesn't sit heavy in your stomach either.
No, but it's just enough carbs and protein that like it's good for a little like, you know, light snack. You know, where you're getting like 200 calories out of it. You know, but.
Does your wife respond the same way you do to carbs or fat?
She wants.
That's why I was wondering if it's like a household thing.
No, she eats whatever. But we completely are off of gluten. We've been off it for a while, so that's been great. Oh, we just recently did the 5 strands. Have you done this yet?
What's that?
So
5 strands.
5 strands. So look it up.
Like hair?
You actually pull 15 strands out of your head or anywhere else in your body if it's long enough. Stick it in this pouch. Smell it off. They send it back to you, and it's a food. It's not technically an allergy. It's a food
sensitivity.
Yeah, but it's another word they use. They can't technically say allergy, but anyways, it's going to tell you over 800 foods that you respond to negatively or positively.
Gotcha.
So we just sent that off. I just got the confirmation this morning. They received it. So in 5 days, I'll get results.
That's cool.
And we're about to adjust. And then once we look at it and see if we think it works, we're going to adjust our entire intake upon, if this is not good for me, I'm not putting it in my body at all. So we're going to adjust our entire intake. And then once we see result where we know it's actually accurate, we'll be able to tell pretty quickly within a month, I would say. We're going to do it for our children. Same thing. And I'm going to adjust their entire, right now while they're this age, they'll be able to know what they can, you know, tolerate. And what's good.
I would strongly recommend this. You don't have to do it, but I would recommend this. Document. So go get whatever kind of body comp that you can get done. I would document pre and post because subjectively you can convince yourself into something that it works or it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
And I would say, all right, my maxes now are this.
Yeah.
My body fat and my lean body mass is this.
Well, we all know that anything that your body doesn't like creates inflammation.
Sure.
inflammation then creates water retention, muscle fatigue, weight gain, low production of testosterone, so on and so forth. For me, the biggest thing is I have the EOE, which I had Dr. I'm drawing a blank right now. Dr. Bienvenue, I just had him on. Sorry, man. I know your name, I just drew a blank. I just had him recently on. He's the one that operated on my throat when I had those issues.
Yeah.
There's an issue where in our bodies, what typically creates cancer is inflammation somewhere.
Sure.
So like putting these things in your body doesn't like, let's just stop doing it.
Yeah.
So if there's something on that list that genetically it's saying you can't have this.
So is that what kind of watch is that?
That's a Whoop.
So
I'm measuring.
I would take a snapshot before they tell you anything.
Yeah.
Take a snapshot of what your sleep quality is, what the heart rate is, where's your body fat, like all of that.
Yeah.
So that way I'd make a little Excel spreadsheet. I know this is a strength coach nerd, like strength coach nerd coming out. Make the spreadsheet and say, okay, January 25, here's my metrics. And then say April 25, here's my metrics. July 25, here's my metrics. Because then you got each quarter, you're figuring out what has changed because you changed. Otherwise, it's too touch and go. And I would really want to see what this does. I'm very interested. Because if everything improves, then everybody should know about this.
My biggest thing is not even on performance for me. This is not performance. It's overall health, but it's also if I can mitigate this acid reflux and throat issue that I have I'm gonna continue to live with. Like something is creating inflammation. That's what's making your throat, like my esophagus, compress and do those things they were doing. Now it hasn't done it as much lately, but it still constantly has acid reflux. If I'm having acid reflux, something in my body's causing it. What food is it specifically? Is it too many of said nutrient? Is it not enough of said nutrient? But also, if I'm consuming something every single day of my life, or at least 2 or 3 times a week of my life, it's creating this inflammation that is then causing an issue to where, I have this, EOE, which is where your esophagus essentially, constricts and doesn't let go.
Yeah.
I want to mitigate that. And same thing for like my wife has arthritis and what's the other one? The skin thing, where she's been on shots forever. If there's anything we can do to make adjustments to where this will mitigate
like
some of these psoriasis. She has psoriasis and rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
So she takes a shot. She's been on shots since she's 7 years old for this.
Okay.
So if there's any way we can help mitigate some of these things, by even though our diet's very healthy, there's still probably things we're eating that we shouldn't.
Or there might be something that you're not.
Exactly.
So that you should.
Exactly.
Okay. Valid.
So
how'd you find out?
That's my main reason for all this.
Where'd you find this?
Just someone said something about it in passing. I don't remember who it was, and I looked it up, and I was like, I'm gonna try this test out. Because going to an allergist is a whole shit show. It takes you 3 months to get in there.
It's like a dermatologist.
It's like then once you finally get in there, it's like they're testing you for things like seasonal and all that. I'm like, that's all cool, but like I'm worried about what I'm putting in my body. And you can do the elimination diet, but still you can't hone all the way exactly in with the elimination diet.
That's interesting. So you have it in a month.
I'm gonna have my results in 4 days.
Let me know about that.
I'll let you know. Now, I don't know how accurate this is, but
I don't care. It's better than nothing.
I'm gonna try it.
Well, I'm always interested because look, I can't advise something I don't know. So if I know something, and I will try it, and then I could say, look, this is not like I'm not prescribing anything,
right,
but here's something that you can look at if it is benefit to you.
Well, and if you're eating something, maybe you eat some peas.
Sure.
And you eat them and you burp. I eat peas and make burps sometimes. Nothing happens after that. Your body can be inflamed out the ass, your throat, your stomach, whatever, and your intestines, you have no idea.
Yep.
Just from that one product you're eating, and it may be good for everyone else, but for your body doesn't like it, and you're intolerant.
I got to look at this. So now but I've never done that. I've never done any of like the send off type things. Right. I probably should. Like the cheek swab thing, like you can get all kinds of stuff.
Trying all of it, bro.
Man, you gotta let me know. Oh, good. And I know you got to train, so we probably got to wrap up.
Yeah, we got to wrap this thing up. What's any final thoughts or anything for everybody?
Yeah. Make sure that you take inventory. So don't wake up and it's Friday every week and expect that you're going to be different than you were last year. January 1 doesn't mean anything. It's just another day. The mindset change is going to be when you actually sit down and take inventory. And for me, it's 30 days. For you, it could be 1 week. Maybe it takes you a week to take inventory, but if you allow yourself to just be a passenger, you're going to look in 5-10 years and say, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. And that if you just take inventory now, even if you make 2 small changes, it's better than if you would have just said, I'll wait till next year, New Year's, I promise I'll make a change. So make a change this week, make a change next month. February the 1st, I'll have a whole new thing to be going off of. Hopefully I'm getting better than, when I call my sister, and I'll make sure that I call myself out this month anyways.
Hell yeah,
but
right.
I'd say that would be my stamp of approval for the month of January.
2025. Let's go.
You know it.
Thank you,
All right,
sir.
man. Hey, man.